राधा कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, टैगोर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरू श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधाकांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधारा शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So today we are reading from chapter 8, text 22. So on the hardbound, it's page 365, chapter 8, text 22. Are we expecting some VIPs today?
No,
So why is the front row empty?
I'm here.
VIP, only one VIP.
So I think you can jump, you can come one ahead,
Prabhuji.
right? One ahead.
मैंने बोला था सनी प्रभु को।
I was going to
दोनों हमने पसंद आ गए।
I was going to move and then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm here.
There was nobody sitting here. I opened my eyes and nobody's here.
Prabhuji, are you sure I can sit here?
100%.
Like this. Question.
I mean, ask easy,
Class हुई फिर।
ask easy questions.
How's the
और बुलाओ।
I have wild cards. So please repeat after me. Purushaha sah parapartha
पुरुषा सा परमार्था
bhaktya labhyastvananyaya
भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्यान्या
yasyantah stani bhutani
यस्यान्तः स्थानि भूतानि
yena sarvam idam tatam.
येन सर्वम् इदं ततम्
Purusha sa parapartha
पुरुषा सा परमार्था
bhaktya labhyastvananyaya
भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्या
yasyantah stani bhutani
यस्यान्तः स्थानि भूतानि
yena sarvam idam tatam.
येन सर्वम् इदं ततम्
Purusha sa parapartha
पुरुषा सा परमार्था
bhaktya labhyastvananyaya
भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्या
yasyantah stani bhutani
यस्यान्तः स्थानि भूतानि
yena sarvam idam tatam.
येन सर्वम् इदं ततम्
Anybody would like to?
पुरुषा सा परपार्था
पुरुषा सा परापार्था
भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्या
भक्त्या लभ्यस्तन्या
यस्यान्तानि भूतानि
यस्यान्तानि
येन सर्वम् इदं ततम्
येन सर्वम् इदं ततम् पुरुषा सा परापार्था
पुरुषा सा परपार्था
भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्या
भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्या
यस्यान्त स्थानि भूतानि
यस्यान्तानि भूतानि
येन सर्वम् इदं ततम्
येन सर्वम् इदं ततम्
Anybody else?
Purusha sa parapartha
पुरुषा सा परापार्था
bhaktya labhyasva ananya
भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्या
yasyanta santi bhutani
यस्यान्तस्थानि भूतानि
yena sarvam idam tatam
येन सर्वम् इदं ततम्
पुरुषा सा परापार्था
पुरुषा सा परपार्था
भक्त्या लभ्यस्तन्या
भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्या
यस्यान्तस्थानि भूतानि
यस्यान्तस्थानि भूतानि
येन सर्वमिदं ततम्
येन सर्वम् इदं ततम्
Transliteration. Purushaha, the Supreme Personality. Saha, he. Paraha, the Supreme than whom no one is greater.
The Supreme than whom no one is greater.
Partha,
Partha,
O son of Pritha.
O son of Pritha,
Bhaktya,
bhaktya,
by devotional service,
by devotional service,
labhya,
labhya,
can be achieved,
can be achieved.
tu,
Tu,
but, ananyaya,
ananya,
unalloyed, undeviating,
unalloyed, undeviating,
yasya,
yasya,
whom,
whom,
antasthani,
antasthani,
within,
within,
bhutani,
bhutani,
all of this material manifestation,
all of this material manifestation,
yena,
yena,
by whom, sarvam, all, idam, whatever we can see,
whatever we can see,
tatam, is pervaded.
is pervaded.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion.
Is attainable by unalloyed devotion.
Although he is present in his abode,
Although he is present in his abode,
he is all pervading,
he is all pervading,
and everything is situated within him.
and everything is situated within him.
Prabhu, you want to read the purport? Sorry, Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhu. Purport. It is here clearly stated that the supreme destination from which there is no return is the abode of Krishna, the Supreme Person. The Brahma Samhita describes this supreme abode as Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, a place where everything is full of spiritual bliss. All the variegatedness manifest there is of quality of spiritual bliss. Nothing there is material. This variegatedness is the spiritual expansion of the Supreme Godhead Himself. The spiritual or superior energy described in the 7th chapter is also manifest there. As far as this material world is concerned, although the Lord is always in His supreme abode, He is nonetheless all pervading by His material energy. So by His spiritual and material energies, He is present everywhere, both in the material and in the spiritual universes. Yashyantaha sthani means that everything is sustained within Him, within either His spiritual or material energy. The Lord is all pervading by these two energies. To enter Krishna's supreme abode or the innumerable Vaikuntha planets is possible only by bhakti, devotional service, as clearly indicated here by the word bhaktya. No other process can help one attain that supreme abode. The Vedas, Gopala Tapani Upanishada 1.21, also describe the supreme abode and the supreme personality of Godhead. Eko Vasi Sarvahagha Krishna. In that abode, there is only one supreme personality of Godhead, whose name is Krishna. He is the supreme merciful deity, and although situated there as one, He has expanded Himself into millions and millions of plenary expansions. The Vedas compare the Lord to a tree standing still yet bearing many varieties of fruits, flowers, and changing leaves. The plenary expansions of the Lord, who preside over the Vaikuntha planets, are four-armed, and they are known by a variety of names: Purushottama, Trivikrama, Keshava, Madhava, Aniruddha, Rishikesha, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Sridhara, Vasudeva, Damodara, Janardana, Narayana, Vamana, Padmanabha, etc. The Brahma Samhita 5.37 also confirms that although the Lord is always in the supreme abode, Golaka Vrindavana, He is all pervading, so that everything is going on nicely. Golaka eva nivasati akhilatama bhutaha, as stated in the Vedas, Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.8, Parasya Saktir Vividheva Shriyothal Swabhaviki Janma Bala Kriyacha. His energies are so expansive that they systematically conduct everything in the cosmic manifestation without a flaw, although the Supreme Lord is far, far away. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So, in this chapter 8, Krishna is talking to Arjuna about attaining the supreme abode, or attaining the supreme personality of Godhead. So, while you were discussing about that, obviously the question that comes to mind, or the things that Krishna wants to clarify is what is the supreme abode, uh, and give more details about the supreme abode. If you just say that that there is just a greater place than this, then we all want to know what that greater place is all about, right? We need more information. Why is it greater? How is it greater? And just like I was speaking to Harsh Prabhu just before, that we don't do any activity without a reward. We want a reward. So we are going to the supreme planet, supreme abode. There has to be some reward, right? There has to be something beneficial for us, at least on the lowest scale of thinking. Despite all that we have discussed over many classes, that one must have devotion to the supreme personality of Godhead and everything like that. That's all true. That's a more like a more of a higher understanding. But at least on the lowest understanding, for someone to be convinced that there is some place better than this, so the supreme personality of Godhead is saying that, and Prabhupada describes here, is that one who there is, in the second line he says that it is a supreme destination from which there is no return. There is no return from this place. So what do we mean when we say there is no return? What does that mean? No return as in a good way or in a bad way? Sometimes people will say, don't go there, you will not come back. We'll get scared. Arey Baba, we can't come back. But this is not like that type of place. There, if you go, you also don't want to come back. So it's like that. So then Krishna expands. What is there in the supreme abode? It is so Brahma is saying. So if you see in this particular purport, Prabhupada has quoted Brahma Samhita multiple times, right? 1 or 2 times, 3 times he has quoted, I think. So the obvious question is, so nowhere in the Vedas and nowhere in many of the scriptures the description of Goloka Vrindavan is given. Nowhere it's given, or if it's given, it's probably very well hidden, that nobody is able to perceive it. Only and only Krishna could come and give out the information about Goloka Vrindavan, right? So now you might ask, like, what is Goloka Vrindavan? So Goloka Vrindavan is the planet, simply to put it, say it's the planet where Lord Krishna resides, and it is above the Vaikuntha planets. So if we were to just like very rawly give a understanding, that this whole material creation, whatever we're seeing, galaxies, multiple universes, etc., whatever that we know through science today, all of that is just like 1/4 of the creation. 1/4 of the creation is just material creation. 3/4 of the creation is the spiritual creation, and the spiritual world starts with all the Vaikuntha planets and all of that. On the topmost of the whole spiritual world is also in one way called Vaikuntha only, but the topmost of the Vaikuntha planet is called Goloka Vrindavan, right? That is where Krishna resides, and that is what Prabhupada is describing here, and what Arjuna, Krishna is describing to Arjuna also. So then the question comes, is that in all the authentic literature written by who's the writer of all the authentic literature, bona fide literature? Vedvyas. So Vyasdev. So Vyasdev has almost nowhere written about Goloka Vrindavan, right? So does that mean that Vyasdev doesn't know about Goloka Vrindavan? The one who's written all the 4 Vedas, the Upanishads, the Mahabharata, etc., so on and so forth. Is it the right thing to say that Vyasdev doesn't know about this, that this place exists? Then again, who is Vyasdev? No, Vyasdev is the literary incarnation of Krishna himself. So Krishna himself had to descend to talk about this particular place, Goloka Vrindavan. So when 500 years ago, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, who is Krishna himself, that is when the revelation of Goloka Vrindavan came out. But then it is not. But then the common people will not believe it. Like if you come up with a new theory today, it's like, okay, it's the people who are well read in the scriptures, they will say it's nowhere mentioned in the scriptures who is this person who is concocting another place that is available. So to set the proof, Brahma, who had first Brahma is the first being in this material world, right? We all know that, correct? I guess a couple of verses back we would have seen. So Brahma himself has, with his own eyes, has seen all of the creation, all of the spiritual creation. And once he has seen Krishna's creation, he penned it down in a poem, which is called as Brahma Samhita, right? And so when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going on a yatra to South India, when he was traveling, you will read it in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when he was going through many very holy places, like he visited Tirupati, he visited Srirangam, he took the darshan of Balaji, he took the darshan of Lord Ranganath Swami, and like that while he was going on a South Indian yatra, he came to this very old and very famous temple called the Adikeshava Perumal temple, or the Adikeshava, the Lord Adikeshava temple. In that temple, he found only the 5th chapter of the Brahma Samhita. The rest of the chapters were missing, because Brahma Samhita, when did Brahma? It's like, I would say, I don't even know, I can't even say years. Years also long. It's written like long time back when Brahma had seen it. At least from our point of time, it's almost it's an eternity of time. So in that temple, this particular scripture was there, the 5th chapter of the Brahma Samhita, and rest everything was not there. It was missing. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then publicized this particular scripture where it describes what Brahma knows about the Supreme Lord. That is authentic, isn't it? If I were to say that Krishna is Supreme Lord, you might say that, okay, what do you know? You just came now. But the first being who in the first canto of the Bhagavatam, it says, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaya. Brahma is called Adikavi, the first poet, right? First poet. And the Lord imparted all the knowledge into Brahma. That's what we learned from the first canto, first chapter. That self-same Brahma is describing the existence of the abode of Krishna, and he's describing it in detail. So there is a book here, I'm not sure, I didn't see it, but there is a book called Brahma Samhita, which has about, I think, 80, 90, 100 verses, I think, in the book. And then Brahma, like, very in detail describes what all is there in this in the spiritual world, how it is, etc. One of the verse that Prabhupada quotes here is that the supreme abode is described as Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, a place where everything is full of spiritual bliss. And then he goes on to say that all the variegatedness manifests there. So, if you go to the spiritual world, and if we assume that in the spiritual world there is only bliss and nothing else but bliss. So, what do you know about bliss? Bliss means, what do we mean by bliss?
Beyond senses.
But like, if I were to say that, you are in bliss, what does that mean? That means you're beyond your senses? I don't think so.
Kind of feeling God within me, around me, beyond my senses.
Okay.
I'm in a melodious.
So you would say it is a state of mind where you're, can we say, where you're free from anxiety and frustrations and all of that?
Fear and all that.
And fear and all of that? Yeah? Everybody agrees with that? Like, the definition of bliss would mean, in our own terms, what it means to us is a state of mind when we are free from anxiety, when we're free from frustration, when we're free from fear of known and the unknown, right? So we're free of all of that. That is bliss. So if you were to go to a place of just bliss, how long will you be happy for? Like, you're doing nothing, but you're just in bliss.
It's like there's day, there's no night.
Right? Something like that. Let's assume that there is only day and then there is no night. And you're in bliss. You have no anxieties, you have no frustrations. From our point of view, that sounds like, wow, that's nice, because we are so much in anxiety and frustration. But then how long? How long do you think we could last like that? If you practically ask ourselves that if you're only in bliss, how long do you think we could last? It's fun. I mean, not fun. I mean, what I mean to say is, it's just a state of mind that you're in bliss. Like, for example, a drug addict is also in bliss, where he doesn't know what's going on, right? Prabhupada particularly mentions the word variegatedness because all types of moods and emotions exist in the spiritual world, just like it exists over here. So, what do you mean by variegatedness? Variegated means the state of mind keeps changing based on the mellows, based on how we want to perceive things. For example, sometimes we are in a very jovial mode and we'll be just like laughing and joking and everything. But can you always be laughing and joking? No. Then suddenly you become serious. There is a mode where you become serious. And we like and in all seriousness, we like seriousness. Right? Sometimes we like to be very like focused. Sometimes we like to be relaxed. Sometimes we like to be jovial. Sometimes we like to be sometimes you everybody has this one friend in their group, at least in their youth, right, where they just want to like just take you and like punch you, right, or they just want to take you and like take and put you on the floor, something to display their strength, that newfound strength. Sometimes we're in that mood also, right, we want to do this type of things. But if you remove all of this and just say I'm in bliss, will you like it? No, you want change. You want change every day. Every day, if there is like some thrill, I mean, you can't take thrill every day also. Then also that will be a problem, right? But like some sort of some sort of thrill and some sort of adventure, some sort of relaxation, all sorts of things. But all sorts of things where Krishna is the center. Krishna is in the center, and we're enjoying all this sorts. That is what Prabhupada means by variegatedness. And see, variegatedness is available in this material world also, but that variegatedness is harmful for us. In many ways we come and we um, we want to display strength, and we go take someone and put him down. You think they'll sit quietly? We'll get back in return, na? If we end up making fun of someone too much, then there is problem too. There's repercussions for that. There's repercussions for everything, right? If you're too serious, then people say this person is too serious, he's very unapproachable. So there's some repercussion or the other that's happening. But the tendency of the soul is to not to remain in a state of idleness, right? So the people who what Prabhupada calls them as Mayavadis, and or the impersonalists, they want to go and merge into this thing called the Brahma Jyoti, right? We have spoken about Brahma Jyoti. So in Brahma Jyoti, what happens is just that you are in a state of bliss, but that's it, right? Even the soul, after some time, like Prabhupada explains previously, that the soul starts to vibrate in that place, because I'm just you're stuck in bliss, right? And and the soul wants to come down, and he's tired of being stuck in bliss. So this again comes to this material world, and then picks up a right path, and then goes on back to Godhead. And works in devotion. So so that is absent in the spiritual world. And how do we know that's absent in spiritual world? Because the Krishna book says so. So many pastimes are happening in the spiritual world continuously, every day, every instant. Pastimes are happening, and you will see that in our Krishna book, we have close to like 90 chapters, 90 different pastimes. Sometimes there are pastimes within pastimes, and then there are many other scriptures that our acharyas have said that just by reading or hearing them, you feel like this is such a beautiful place where uh, uh, there's everything going on, but then there is absence of misery, right? There is absence of fear. There's no fear of anything, and it is such a wonderful thing to be. And that is why Brahma is saying that this place is called Ananda Chinmaya Rasat Mataya Manasu Yapranidam Pratifalam Smaratam Umetya Leelayitena Bhuvanani Vibharta Durga. So continuously there is Leela going on, and nobody's tired of anything, and it is there is no work to be worried about. There is no children to be. I mean, in the sense like the way we are worrying about children, that sort of thing is not there. But then there is also worry for children, and that variegatedness also is required, right? If the parent and the child, if the parent is always happy with the child, and the child is always happy with the parent, then where is that masala? There has to be some friction, to increase the even fights also increase love. right? Fights also increase love. So all of these variegatedness that we see in our lives is also available there, but with the absence of miseries, no none of these anxieties. And then moving further, one thing we need to know about Krishna is the one very salient feature about Krishna is that Krishna never leaves Goloka Vrindavan. He never ever leaves that place, right? Um, he doesn't feel the need to leave that place in one sense. He likes it absolutely there. He likes to be with his devotees. He loves the place. He likes to perform his pastimes there, and he does not want to come outside of that place, even to any other Vaikuntha planets. Krishna has no interest in any of these places. Krishna also is that person who doesn't do anything. He doesn't take part in any of the worldly affairs that we are thinking of. He doesn't manage the material world. He doesn't manage Brahma. He doesn't manage the creation. He doesn't manage the destruction. He doesn't manage anything. He doesn't want anything to do with this. And he doesn't want anything to do with anything outside Goloka Vrindavan. So that is Krishna. So then if we make a statement like that, then the question is like, okay, if Krishna is not managing this, then who is managing this place? Right? Who's taking care of all of this thing? Right? Who's creating all of this? So Krishna knows. Krishna knows that there are some souls who didn't want who want us who want some souls means us who want to enjoy for ourselves, right? So enjoyment for ourselves, we cannot enjoy for our senses in the spiritual world, right? Spiritual world you enjoy by keeping Krishna happy, by by surrounding your happiness around Krishna's happiness, and it's not a forceful thing; it comes naturally, right? Prabhupada has used the word unalloyed, and we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that soon. Everybody just wants to please Krishna, and that is how they stay happy in the spiritual world. In Goloka Vrindavan. So when Krishna has so many such type of devotees, why would he come out of that place? Right? He wouldn't want to come out. But he also knows that he's also merciful. That okay, there are these people who have lost track, and I need to bring them back to track. So what Krishna does is that Krishna's first expansion is his brother Balram. From Balram comes all these innumerable plenary expansions and expansions of expansions. So it is actually Balram who takes care of the rest of all the activities. Everything is taken care by Balramji, right? Krishna has nothing to do with nothing. Balram is the one that further expands, and then those expansions expand further, and then there is a creation of the material world, and all these technical details about when this Vishnu comes in and then creates the universe and all of that, etc., etc. So Krishna stays aloof from all of this, right? And that is why Prabhupada mentions that the supreme, although the Lord is always in his supreme abode, the Lord is always in his supreme abode, but through his agencies, like through Balram and Balram's further agencies, the rest of the material world, the rest of the spiritual world, the functioning, whatever the requirements are, everything is taken care of, right? So that is why the Lord is called all pervading. All pervading means that person whose presence is there everywhere. You feel the presence, you feel the presence of the Lord. There is no difference between Krishna and Balram. It's just that one is dark, one is fair. Otherwise, they're exactly the same. So the Lord is all pervasive, means the Lord is present everywhere. He's present in this material world, and he's present in the spiritual world, and he's present in his own planet. But he's outside the spiritual world. He's only present through his agencies or through his energies. But inside the spiritual world, or rather inside his own planet, which is the Goloka Vrindavan, he's present in full. He's present as his original identity, as original Krishna. Outside is just expansions, and there will always be a difference between original and expansion. Although we at this point were not able to tell the difference between it, but there is a difference. But there's only one time that Krishna came, the original Krishna came from the spiritual world down to the material world, and that's only once he comes. Anyone knows when is that?
During Pandava's time?
No.
No?
What's the question?
Krishna comes from the original Krishna comes from the spiritual world, from his Goloka planet only once. So Prabhupada here says Krishna never leaves his abode. What's his abode?
Goloka
Goloka
Vrindavan.
Vrindavan. Krishna never leaves. But there is only one time that he has left. And he's come down and gone back. The original person. So the original person came down as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Only once. And he came back 500 years ago. If we know the lifespan of Brahma, then it is said that he only comes once in a day of Brahma. Right? We've all discussed the lifespan of Brahma, so it's pretty big. And then he only comes once, and that too he comes not exactly for the devotees, but he comes specifically because he wanted to see what the Lord is wondering, that I am the creator of everything. I am the, what do you say? I know everything. Everything emanates from me. But one thing I don't know is how the devotees feel towards me, how the exalted devotees feel towards me. That I am not able to understand. The Lord is not able to understand that, these devotees are always hankering for me. They want to serve me. They want to please me. They want to do everything for me. I am not able to understand that mood they have towards me, or that love they have towards me. So the Lord descends as a devotee, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to experience that mood of how a devotee feels to the Lord. And as specifically how Radharani feels towards the Lord, because Radharani is considered to be the most exalted of all devotees. And he wanted to understand that what bliss is she getting every time by serving me. I am not able to understand that, or rather experience that. So that is the only time the Lord descends to this material world. And in doing so, I would say the side effects of doing so is that the holy name, the chanting of the holy name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra we chanted was spread to every town, city, and village. That was the side effect. And just because he came for Radharani, we all benefited. We all benefited that decision of the Lord. Otherwise, the Lord never leaves the spirit, the Goloka Vrindavan. Yes, Prabhu, you wanted to.
So, Prabhuji, I initially read that Krishna came in his original incarnation during the time of Pandavas. That was Krishna himself. So that was not Krishna, that was also an expansion.
Yes.
But there was Krishna and Balram
Right.
during that time also.
Right.
So it was Balram's expansion into all these.
We should also note that Balram also does not leave the abode and comes out.
Mhm.
From Balram comes many expansions. There is the first, we call it, like, without going into a lot of detail, there is the first quadruple expansions. What is it? Vasudev, Sankarsana, Niruddha, Pradyumna, and then there is second quadruple expansions, and then from there another further expansions happen, and the material world is created, and then in between there is the expansion of Lord. It's confusing if I just put it out that way. It'd be better if I showed some sort of a chart or something. But then from that particular Narayana comes all these other expansions that we're seeing: Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, etc., etc., etc. So all of these are there.
I'm just concerned about Krishna's.
Correct. Even
Kaurava Pandavas.
even Krishna, that is it's a little offhanded to understand this, but even Krishna, how do I put this?
Even the name Krishna came from that incarnation.
Which incarnation?
During Pandava's time. That's when we know he's Krishna.
No, Krishna is
Otherwise-
eternal.
No, the name.
Name,
Everybody knows him
First-
Krishna from Mahabharata.
right? The first verse of Brahma Samhita is Ishvara Parama Krishna. So even before all this Mahabharata happened, Mahabharata happened when? Only 5,000 years ago, right? Brahma said Brahma Samhita when? At the beginning of creation. And what did he call the Lord? Ishvara Parama Krishna. Ishvara, the primeval Lord Krishna was given then. Krishna's name is eternal, right? In Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna is called Krishna only. I mean, what am I saying? Yeah, Krishna is called Krishna only.
And Balram is called Balram.
Balram is called Balram.
Okay.
Then who is Vishnu then? Vishnu Lok, Brahma Lok and Shiv Lok, right?
So-
I would say the Vishnu is the incarnated in different incarnated, right? From start from beginning. Matsya Avatar.
Most of these incarnations, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, and all of these, they emanate from Lord Narayan.
Yes, that's the Vishnu Lok, right? Vishnu.
Narayan is different from Vishnu, also, right? So, the Vishnu that we always refer to is often called as Mahavishnu, and in Vishnu also there are multiple types of Vishnus. Bhagavatam goes into a lot of depth in all of that aspects. But when we keep saying Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, we refer to this particular Vishnu called Mahavishnu. Right now, I don't want to debate into
Four
that.
arms having four different things,
Right.
different harm.
Right.
This goes here, it's a different
Right.
name. This goes
Right.
here, it's a
You
different
will read in Krishna book that at some particular point,
Yeah.
Mahavishnu also wanted to have darshan of Krishna.
Is it possible sometimes somewhere next time to have a chart and then
We want to do it. We've been discussing this topic for almost
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time.
Yes.
That will be a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
When I read currently right now one of the Harivansh Mahapuran, and there are lots of things going on. So
Right.
you say there are the Mahavishnu, Vishnu,
Correct.
and all of them. So it is good to have like an
Correct. I agree with you. I totally agree with you, because if we just say it, because I have a visual in my head, but I can't convey that visual to you. But if you can visually see it, I think it will make more understanding. And all of this that we are describing, these all were given by the Supreme Person. Was what do you say? Given by Vyasdev, and more so enhanced by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu later on. After he said that there is this extra special planet which is called the Goloka Vrindavan, etc., etc. And then, of course, being followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada also writes the same in the purport also, and he explains this particular place. And then, what do you say? Srila Prabhupada is saying, and the main point that that we want to hit here is that what is the qualification for a person to go back to the supreme world, the supreme abode, and sorry, bhakti, ananya bhakti. That is very important. Without you work for something that you have no reward for. So definition of bhakti is given in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or the Nectar of Devotion, by Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami, by the way, is one of our very prominent acharyas. If you look the last picture in the Guru Parampara, where there are 6 people standing, they will call them 6 Goswamis. Out of the 6 Goswamis, Rupa Goswami is the younger brother of the Sanatan Goswami. And Rupa Goswami, he has written many literatures, right? In many ways, we are also called followers of Rupa Goswami, Rupanugas, right? Following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami has written this book for practitioner devotees, which is about practitioner devotees, expounding more about what bhakti is all about, what are the different types of bhaktis, how, and all of that, with a greater detail. And he defines bhakti as anya bilashita shunyam, that the person has anya abilashi. The other abilashi means wishing, desire. Anya bilashita shunyam, 0. He has no other desires, and he doesn't try to achieve the Lord through either jnana, knowledge, karma, and adi, with any other methods. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karma anamritam. But what does he do then? Anukulyena Krishnano. He will do whatever pleases Krishna. Whatever, and that could be whatever it could be. He will do that which pleases to Krishna, not that which he feel in his mind that feels, oh, if I do this activity, I'll feel satisfied and I'll feel blissful. Sometimes you will hear that Today I woke up very early in the morning, I took bath and I lit the lamp in front of the Lord. I felt very happy. That is good. It's not bad. But are you doing it for your happiness or are you doing it for the Lord's happiness? You feeling blissful is a byproduct. But if we are doing the activity, this spiritual activity, keeping ourselves in the center, that I am doing all of this to keep myself blissful, to keep myself happy, to keep myself away from the harm's way, right? That is not really bhakti. That is good. It is still good. 4 types of people in the 4th chapter that Krishna says they come to me. What are the 4 types of people? Chaturvida, bhajante mam, distressed, money, seekers,
want to know
yogis, right? What is it? Artho, Artharthi, Jnana, and Jigyasu. One in search of knowledge, one who is distressed, one who wants money or property, and then Jigyasu, one who is curious, wants to know more about the Lord. Although in that place, the Prabhupada has described that the Jigyasu person, the person who is considered to be the topmost, but he does not negate that there are people who come in distress. Also, we all belong to that category only, When we are in distress, who do we call out? We call out to the Lord, right? That's not bad. But that is not Ananya Bhakti. That is not Ananya Bhakti. Whether you are in distress, no distress, whether you are in any type of trouble or no trouble, when you are working for or when you are working to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is called Ananya Bhakti. And that is called real bhakti. And that is why Prabhupada has used the word unalloyed. What is an alloy? Mixture of
metals.
Two metals. Two metals together make an alloy. And the word unalloyed means that which there is no mix. There is just pure. It is pure. Gold is pure. There is no... Now we have all this 10, 12, 13, 14, 24 karat gold. But like pure gold is pure gold. Has no adulteration in it whatsoever. And that is the type of bhakti that Krishna is looking for. Or rather, that is the type of bhakti that will take one home back to Godhead.
Prabhuji, a quick question. So,
Yeah.
same example that you took,
Yeah.
you wake up in the morning, you lit the diya,
Yeah,
and you think, oh, I'm feeling happy.
right.
What you're telling is that you should say that Krishna is feeling happy.
No, I'm not saying you should say anything.
No. Like you should feel it, right?
Yes,
Okay, but how do you know Krishna would be happy with that diya?
because that's Krishna's instructions.
Where are these instructions?
All through our scriptures.
Okay.
Right.
So the scriptures tells how Krishna will be happy.
The scriptures will guide you how Krishna will be happy. See, in an initial stage, we cannot...
This is also, I'm just thinking this is also my mind telling me, oh, Krishna will be happy by this.
Correct. No, and I said...
But then this is also a mind feeling, right?
No, that is true. But see, you're not doing anything blanketly. Lighting diya doesn't say, it's not something that is coming out of your mind. It is because it is mentioned somewhere and someone's taught you.
Somebody told me I did
Yes,
this.
correct.
Now
correct.
how do I make it a bhakti? How do I make it true bhakti?
Bhakti does not come because, bhakti is not something that you can achieve by your own personal endeavor. It's not like I study for 4 years and I become a great engineer. Or I just get perfect, 100 out of 100. And then I become an engineer. You cannot achieve bhakti by a yardstick. Bhakti comes when Krishna awards bhakti to you. It's a blessing from Krishna. But how do you get how do we get to that process? Chant Hare Krishna, do all the required activities. Try to do the activities as detached as possible. Try to keep Krishna in the center. We, at this particular point in time, we are all practitioners. We don't have that unalloyed bhakti, right? Or rather, let me put it in this way. We are not Sant Tukarams. We are not Mirabais, right? Where for them, these rules and regulations actually doesn't matter. There comes a point of time in a devotee's life, in an exalted devotee's life, where it does not matter whether, they take a bath or they don't take a bath, they light a diya, they don't light a diya, because they are already 24/7, not in there, just physically you can see them in this world, but spiritual, their mind, the soul, mind and everything is always floating in Krishna.
Shabri. From
Shabri, right?
So all these rituals are meant to kind of
All-
help us,
yes.
material people,
Yes, to
get
bring you on track.
connected.
To bring you on track.
Yeah.
Walk on this track and keep on improving yourself. Like when we say improving yourself means day in and day out, try and don't do it mechanically, but at least initially try to do it with some sort of love for the Lord. Even love also does not just like that does not come. So when you're reading scriptures, when you're associating with devotees, when you're doing these tasks, when you're doing all of this, they are meant to instill good faith, right?
They
Even to
increase
reach.
your knowledge, Prabhu. They increase your knowledge, but
Correct.
they generate love also.
Yes, they generate love also. Of course,
They increase your knowledge, but the knowledge always comes with two different prospects. One could be confusing also.
right.
One could be in ego. It can go into ego state.
Very
I'm
good.
into rituals all
100%.
the times.
100%. So,
So it's very funny thing about knowing more knowledge.
when you do your ritual based on the knowledge, that ritual becomes spiritual
Arey wah.
Based on knowledge.
knowledge. But if you just keep on flipping,
But everybody does the rituals with the knowledge. If you do the ritual with love, then it becomes spiritual.
but you don't have love.
Okay, this is where my question is.
Right.
The knowledge is knowledge.
What do you
How
mean?
does-
Okay,
how does
at
the love
least.
comes up?
Okay, at least what do you mean by love? At least
Love means
preliminarily,
that,
at least.
that same kind of bhakti, ananya bhakti that we are talking like.
Even if you say something,
there's no,
even if
nothing
you
for reward.
correct.
That's what love means. To me.
See, Ananya Bhakti is like not some, it's easy to say that I'm going to do something without reward. Right now we're having a discussion. You can say, I don't want any reward, I will do it. But it's not really an innate nature that we have developed, right? It's something that we're thinking in our mind that yes, we have it, but somewhere deep hidden in the heart, there is always a, oh, I'm doing all of this. Why is this happening to me? You know what I mean?
There's always
You can,
expectation to be for anything.
we can cheat everybody, but we can't cheat ourselves. It's hidden. It's deep down. It's like a rust that's there, but we cannot see. It's covered with layers, you know. But at least from the mouth, at least at the level of the mind, or just from the mouth, if you're saying, we're making a very honest prayer to the Lord. You know, yeah, my Krishna, yes, I am filled with defects. I have all of this. This Ananya Bhakti is something that I cannot even think of. I am told to do this, by your mercy, we came in touch with a spiritual master, and the spiritual master has instructed me to do a certain set of tasks, and I am doing it. And please, Krishna, accept it. Although I am not doing it, I'm not. My heart is not fully imbued with it. I am trying, Krishna. I am trying, and this prayer when you're saying. It has some sort of feel. I mean, this is a personal prayer. It's not a prayer that is defined anywhere. But when we do these rituals, even this arti and all, these are just rituals at the end of the day. If we don't have any knowledge behind it, backing, because they said do it, we have all these rules, 7 times to the leg, especially during Damodar. Kartik month, they will say do 7 times to the 4 times to the leg, or 3 times to the waist, and 2 times to the head, etc., etc. So, but when you do it, at least out of that initial, I want to do it, at least in the mind you're saying, I want to do it because this pleases Krishna. But maybe deep down we may not have that, but at least let's start off with that. Then eventually, it will build. Whenever we're reading pastimes and whenever we're associating with very qualified devotees, right? You will feel that there is a sudden surge of attraction towards Krishna or Krishna consciousness. There is that feeling that, okay, let me chant this round little better. How does Prabhupada say that one must chant the rounds? Because chanting is the basic way for one to develop love for Krishna, or not basic way, is the most important way to develop love of God. How does Prabhupada say to chant? Anybody?
So chant loudly, listen to yourself. Chant.
Offenselessly, yes. But can we chant offenselessly? What is Prabhupada's a very simple technique of chanting? Yes, you chant and you hear. It sounds very easy, but it's a very difficult task to do. Right? One round is 108 beads. Every Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Can you tell me that you have heard every single Hare Krishna Mahamantra, every word, every syllable of Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Have you heard it? If you are able to hear it, then you're really forming a connection with Krishna. Slowly, steadily, but surely you're doing it. And that is, Prabhupada had simplified all of the scriptures into just this one activity: chant and hear. Because we will hear the first three words, first three Hare Krishna Mahamantras will hear, third, fourth, fifth, then 20th will come back. Your mind will go off somewhere and then you have to drag it back, and then it comes back, and then the 20th, 21st you hear, and then again it flies away, and then you drag it back here, it comes back. And then, if you're chanting near the window, then you're seeing why this car is going at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and you're like, useless, hopeless fellows coming at home at this time. And then again mind, Arey, why am I thinking about him? I have to think of Krishna, again drag it and bring it back here. And then if some people have pets in their house, why is this dog barking at 4 a.m. in the morning? Maybe he does not have food. Then you throw a few biscuits at him. Arey, why I'm throwing biscuit at him? I have to think of Krishna. And you go back to Krishna. This is how we're doing. Is it true? It may not be the same, but some situation like that is there. Is this Ananya Bhakti? Ananya Bhakti is whether that fellow is coming at 4 a.m., whether this dog is barking, whether someone else is barking, you are thinking of Krishna. You and Krishna are like locked in, connected, sealed. Outside, if someone is screaming at even a bomb bursts also, not worried, because you're lost in Krishna. You're there. You and Krishna are connected. When you're chanting is basically you talking to Krishna. You are talking to Krishna. You're telling, my dear Krishna, just put me in your service now. I am just lost in this material world. I'm just lost doing all of these things. Just engage me in your service. And then Krishna is listening. How intently. Prabhupada says that chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is actually a cry of the devotee to the Lord. The devotee is crying to the Lord. But do we feel that our chanting is anything close to crying? Anything close to pleading? Anything close to Krishna, I really want you? In many senses, that is what Ananya Bhakti is. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Right? When you're calling out to somebody, you really mean it. Gajendra, when he called for the Lord, he meant it. He meant it in the extreme, in the last sense, he meant it that Krishna, I need you. Everybody knows Gajendra's pastime, right? Everybody's aware, right? So Gajendra was basically, in short, was a devotee who got cursed, who became an elephant, and then whose leg got caught by a crocodile. And he was stuck, and he was calling, he was telling all these prayers to the Lord that, come, and he was not mentioning the name of the Lord anywhere. So all Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Varuna, Chandra, everybody had assembled over there in the sky, but nobody wanted to help him. Why nobody wanted? Because they're saying, he didn't call me, so how I can go and help him, right? So finally, the Lord Lord knew that this person is calling me only, but he didn't specifically mention. But eventually he mentions the Lord name. The Lord comes flying in with Garuda to come and help him, because that relationship was very strong. That he was crying. He cried for the Lord. He begged for the Lord. He wanted the Lord, and that's how he came. Right? Prahlad Maharaj, for example. Prahlad Maharaj is an exemplary example of Ananya Bhakti. Father tried to kill him in many different ways. Burn him, thrash him, punch him, give him to snake, give him to tigers, throw him from the mountain. He was least worried. He was not scared. He had no fear. He was always, whether he was in a state of distress, he was never in distress, but whether he was being pushed to trouble or not being pushed into trouble, he was always chanting the name of the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj was 100% connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is an example of Ananya Bhakti. And that is what Prabhupada is saying, and that is what Brahma is saying. Brahma is saying in Brahma Samhita, in the 10th verse, he's saying, to reach the Lord, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. The eyes have to be anointed with the cream of Bhakti. Then one can see the Lord. Right? The eyes have to be anointed with the cream of Bhakti. Then can one see right now we are also seeing the Lord. But we are not seeing the Lord. Correct? We are just seeing, and we are just looking the outside. What do you say? What is it called? We are seeing from the outside. But when you see the Lord, the bhakti has to, you have to see the Lord with love, right? That we're not able to see. And then Brahma is saying, if you really want to see the Lord, this is how you see the Lord. You have to have your eyes, your senses have to be filled with bhakti to perceive the Lord. And that's what Prabhupada is saying. So Prabhupada said that one word, unalloyed devotion, and I think he used one more word, undeviating, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, in the transliteration, Ananya means unalloyed and undeviating. No deviation. Well, of course, if you're unalloyed, it's no deviation. So, so yes, I mean, this is something, a little I was able to say about the Lord in his abode, and little bit description of the abode. But there is like so much expansive stuff, many things even I don't know. So I mean, there's a lot of things I don't know, but yeah. So that is why we read the scriptures, we discuss with devotees. Um, Prabhupada said, the more we are in the association of devotees, the more this bhakti can thrive, right? Bhakti is not going to thrive by our own individual personal endeavor, right? So, just like, well, this is also an example Prabhupada gave. The watermelon field, when it's growing, apparently one watermelon sees another watermelon becoming red, and it starts to become red and sweet. Look at the creation. Watermelons all don't become red at the same time. Somebody becomes a great devotee, the other watermelon sees that watermelon becoming a great devotee, and he says, "Arey, he's also becoming. I'm also associating. I will also." That sharing, that just by the presence, lavamatra sadhu sange sarva siddhi laya. Just that fraction of the time you stay with devotees, so much benefits are happening, and that is the whole purpose of this congregation, where we are all getting together. We each one have each other's back in that sense, going home back to God. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I hope, is there any questions or yes?
In Golka Vrindana,